Beautiful people, listen, if you ask me, I'm so biased. I am biased because I believe I have the best supporters in the world. This Conversations Unleashed Rising Together, this 10-minute weekly podcast. Listen, y'all, if you take the time to listen to me each week, I want to let you know I am eternally grateful and thankful for you because you didn't have to, right? This was an idea that started a while ago, but I wanted to make sure that I give people substance. And before we start this podcast on today, because we want to have some fun with this topic, I want to send my prayers and thoughts to every person that is inside of Florida that is going to probably get pieces of Hurricane Milton. I've been looking at the reports. This is going to be one of the strongest hurricanes we've seen in a long time. And my thoughts are going to every individual there that are trying to evacuate, for those that can't even afford to evacuate. It is a gentle reminder for us to be grateful for whatever state that we are in, because there's always someone facing something crazier. So to all of my Florida listeners and supporters and people that I have spoken to and been Orlando, you know, my pink people in Sarasota, listen, my heart is there with you and I'm praying for you. And on today, it speaks even more to this topic that I want to talk about, because everyone, I think that in this society and climate where we're going for, everyone is looking for a strong leader. And if you are listening to this podcast, listen, you are a leader. Why? Because you're choosing to develop. You're choosing to get better. And even myself, I'm choosing to get better. So let's dive into this topic on today and how leadership is an extremely important thing to learn how to do. It's not just what title you have. Let's go. Everyone, this is the start of the year. We had a really good meeting with Dr. Vasquez, who is the Dean of Staff here at the Ron Clark Academy. And one of the things that we have been trying to work on more this year is pushing our literacy scores and just improving overall academically how we're pushing our kids. We can't be a model school if we are not pushing our kids, right? So to all of my educators and leaders, business owners, doctors, nurses, parents, students, let me take my glasses off for you, because you can't see this right now, because, you know, if you listen to the audio podcast, you can't tell. But if you want to see what a brother looking like, okay, you can come on down to this YouTube channel. Check this out, y'all. In this society, I want you to hear my heart. People are not trying to listen to people who are claiming to lead and you don't have any results for your leadership skills. I will say it again. In this climate where stress is high, people are not trying to listen to directions from leaders who do not have any proven results. I say that because I live in this dichotomous field. I am an educator, but I'm also a keynote speaker. I speak in education and in corporate, but in the education realm, people are hiring me because they are trying to see, can this brother talk about what we need to hear? But more importantly, can he do what he says he's saying on stage, or what I'm saying on stage? That's what makes my school so unique. You can come here, baby, and see if I can do it. And one of the things I want you to know is that as a person myself who has leaders in my life, what makes me more inclined to listen to them? They have results. Eric Thomas, who is a phenomenal speaker himself, his mother was trying to give him some money advice, right? And she was just going in. And he has this clip on stage where he said, you know, Ma, you really can't talk to me that too much about money because you're not a millionaire. And the moves and stuff I'm trying to make is in that realm. And what I want you all to know is, for all of us, we are pushing to go higher. We're rising together, just like this podcast. And I want you to think about this one point. The people that you're taking information from, are they further ahead of you, and have they have results of where you're trying to go? It's okay to talk to your peers, and that's important to collaborate with them. But there should be a percentage of people in your life that you can look to for advice on, hey, this is where I'm trying to go. When I'm trying to get better at speaking, I'll go talk to a Ryan Leak. I'll go holler. When I get better at trying to teach and think critically, I'll go talk to a Ron Clark, right? You know, so I want you to get into that mindset of, it's good to have your peers around you, but who is in front of you? You know, who's in your front window sill that you can look at to say, you know what, let me go holler at them and let me get some advice from them. Dr. V is one of those individuals for me. She's an incredible administrator that came from Florida. But let me tell you something why she came into my first observation for this year. And I think everyone should be observed to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Let me tell you 2 reasons why I listen to her. The first reason, Of course, she's my superior, but y'all, in this climate with the type of attitudes and us people working from home and going back into the office, listen, that ain't the main reason why I listen to her. Let me tell you one of the main reasons I listen to Dr. V, because she cares. I tell people you can't demand a withdrawal from someone you have never invested in. And Dr. V embodies that, even if she didn't even make that quote, right? She creates these pieces for birthdays. She's constantly checking in. Hey, what do you need? She's doing little things like leaving pieces of candy for us in her office when we go to have a conversation. She's leading with love, but she's also pushing at the same time. If you ask me, that's what a leader does. Too many times you have people with the title of, hey, you're demanding things from people, but you don't have any deposits within them. That's why I like the servant leaders. I like those who will get down with me and make it happen, right? So there's been times she's come into my room and she'll sit amongst the kids as they're learning. And she's asking questions and she's interested in a lesson. 2 weeks ago, I've been teaching the elections to the fourth graders, right? And we were up in my room during lunch, just chilling and watching the reviews or the highlights from the vice presidential debate. And Dr. V came in and was kicking it with us, right? And we were talking about how in the debate, I think someone said the terminology aliens, and she took a moment. Hey, y'all, what's another term that we can use for someone that may be known being stated as an alien? And she taught the fourth graders the terminology undocumented. Leadership all around. I think that's one of the reasons why I listen to her for sure. And I want you to think about that. But more importantly, she has results. She has results. She's very well versed in the programs that we're using here inside of reading, which is iReady. So everyone, when she came into the observation, let's get to that part because she's an incredible leader, right? Hopefully you can take a leadership tip from that. You can't lead people if you don't know the people you're leading. You cannot lead people in 2024 if you don't know the people that you're leading. If you don't know the mindset, the culture, the backgrounds. I'm not even talking about you have to know their favorite candy, but the personalities, the makeup, you have to know the people that you're leading. And you also have to have results, right? Everyone wants to get on that stage, right? That's why I love doing keynote speeches. Sometimes I thank God for the opportunity all the time. You know, sometimes the numbers go from 50 people to sometimes it's 13,000 people, and everyone wants that spotlight and everyone wants to lead, but you forget that that spotlight is hot and that light is on you and is looking to see what you have done and produced in your own life. So if you want to be an incredible leader, make those deposits, get those results. But to the observation now, because I know I got great first year teachers like Amir and people that were listening. She came to observe sixth grade because we've been working through informational text and finding the central idea and then summarizing the central idea. We're moving to creating inferences tomorrow and Thursday when the principals come in. And y'all, what happened is she was here for 30 minutes. But let me tell you something. Y'all, for 20 minutes, I was reviewing the basically an assignment I gave the kids that they bombed. They bombed the assignment. Only one kid made it 100. I think the average score, I want to say, was like a 50%, right? But it's because it was 4 questions as well. But it was really testing them with the type of multiple choice questions. And I thought the observation was, hey, we'll go through 5 minutes of review and I'll get right into my next lesson. That did not happen. What ended up happening was it turned into a good 15 to 20 minutes of my kids having creative discourse about the different multiple choice questions and which answer choices didn't make any sense and what was the question really looking for and what words were hidden in the answer choices and how some answer choices were very similar until 2 words were different. And let me tell you something, it was bothering me because I'm thinking, I'm about to get bombed on this observation. She is about to light me on fire. But the reality of it is, believe it or not, when I met with her Friday, actually Saturday morning, because we had a leadership conference here on Saturday, right? We was at school on Saturday. She said she loved it. She said she loved it because the kids were learning how to think through the questions, to accurately answer the questions so they can be able to score well. And that's the funny thing about teaching reading. I feel, for me personally, if I'm honest, I'm a strong teacher, right? I feel like I'm a stronger social studies teacher than reading because reading, there is a science to it that you must know. So when it comes to reading, I will say it made me feel good in a way because it showed me that sometimes you just have to allow kids to work and wrestle with the content. Do my students love reading? Yes, they do. But we also know that they have standardized assessments that they have to take. So there's an interesting balance you have to battle with. But after that, y'all, we spent that 15, 20 minutes and we went through those questions and stuff together. And what I love the most is that after we popped up a new passage and we went through the concept of annotating it together. We were doing it together in guided practice. And I even did a little mini lesson before about intrusive thoughts. Because as my kids were getting the questions wrong the previous day, you saw the depression go across their face and the sadness and just I'm not smart. And I had to coach them and let them know that in those moments of failing, in those moments of getting the stuff wrong, that's actually when learning takes place. That's where you find out, can you get a little bit better? So once a day, I want to let you know my observation. I thought it was going to go, I thought it was mediocre. It was actually better than what I thought. And it was better than what I thought, not only because of me trying to lead the kids correctly, but I had a strong leader who made deposits and has results that can accurately guide me into doing something good. So if you're a leader, think about that. How can you add more deposits to the people you're serving? And then number 2, do you have any results so people can buy into you? And if you are a teacher or a speaker or any type of business owner, as you're getting data and getting your observations and stuff from your clients that are buying your products or from people who are learning from you, ask yourself, are you doing the best that you can? And are you following good practices? Once again, I hope you enjoy this podcast for this week, everyone, because this is the meat and potatoes, right? I want you to hear me because this is something that oftentimes I struggle with, but I want you to understand this one today because we're in this time where people are so addicted to, I need something new. I need a new revelation. I need this. And I want to say this to you because I love all of you so much. I really do. Motivation can only go so far. At some point, discipline has to take over. So I don't care how many podcasts you listen to, how many books you read, how many speakers that come to your school or conference, how many mentors you have. I don't care how many, key indicators you create for your business model. Man, listen, at some point, discipline has to take over. There's something called analysis paralysis, and a lot of people have it. You know all the right things to do, but you won't do it. And for me, in my life, in Q4, I am intentionally working on applying the information I know so I can get the results I need. I hope you all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this podcast on this week. It's time for me to get up out of here because I got to prep my test I'm going to get this week and go home and cook a healthy meal. But I love you. May your Wednesday be full of joy and light. And may this podcast lift you up if you've been feeling down. And if you're still feeling good, may it still refuel you there. Never forget, legacy over likes. I love y'all. Peace.